In this video, I'm going to introduce you to some of the accessibility features using your keyboard on the Apple MacBook laptop computer. And so the first thing I want to show you is how to access the accessibility features, which can be done in several ways. So the first way, and most common way, is to go down to your application bar at the bottom of your screen, or on your screen it may be on the left, or it may be on the right. As you can see, mine is on the bottom. Now I'd like you to click on Accessibility Preferences, and then you can see there are several different options, and I'm going to go in the fourth row down to Accessibility. When I get to Accessibility, I'm going to see many different options, including some general where I can have some shortcuts. Also, can I do voiceover, zoom, display, have my computer speak to me, different descriptions, and closed captioning, as well as audio and dictation software. Today we're going to focus on using our keyboard though as a mouse, and we're going to focus on zoom and having our computer speak to us and also doing dictation. So the first thing I'm going to do here is look at mouse keys, then sticky keys, and zoom. Now if I want to zoom in, and I'm going to do that on this screen here because you can see that the accessibility menu is kind of small, I'm going to hit Option Command 8. Now I have my zoom toggled in pretty far, so all I have to do now is just keep zooming out using the Option Command minus until I get to where I want it to be. And then I can keep moving it around, and then I can zoom completely out. Now what's interesting on the zoom feature here, so I'll click on that, is if I do complete zoom style, I can do full screen, picture in picture, or I can have the zoom follow the keyboard focus. Now that gets a little interesting because when I do that, and I click zoom in, you can see that it doesn't always go exactly and stay with me. And that can be a bit of a challenge. And so you'll want to play with these different settings on zoom. Okay? I also recommend plugging your computer into a monitor that you can then kind of control the zoom settings that you prefer to have. The other place I'm going to go to right now before we get started with showing you the mouse keys is I can either enable my mouse keys here, or I can also do it with a keyboard shortcut, which I'm going to show you. I'm going to make my mouse keys move a little slower. That way I can actually see what it is I'm doing. And I can have the computer also ignore the trackpad when I have the mouse keys turned on. And here, Option button 5 times is what allows me to do mouse keys in my actual use of the keys without having to come back to this screen. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK on that. And I'm going to go ahead and click out of here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is show you how to use the keyboard as a mouse. So go ahead and, with your right hand, if you can do so, place the middle finger on the eye, and that's going to be your home base and also your selection button. Okay? And then I want you to put your right index finger on the letter U, which will be your left movement, your right ring finger on the O button, which will be your right horizontal movement, and then your middle finger can go up to the 8 to go up, or down to the K to go down. Okay? And then 7, 0, J, and L are going to be your diagonal keys. Okay? It takes a while to get used to, but that's all right. So I'm going to go ahead, and you're going to notice that on my computer I have an option called Switch, which allows me to see that an option has been selected. So normally you'll just hear a little click that will tell you that the mouse keys have been turned on when you hit Option 5 times. On my screen, you're actually going to see a notification in the middle of the screen telling me that I have turned on the mouse keys. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Now you heard that notification and you also saw that. So at this point, my keyboard can now function as a mouse. So I'm going to go ahead and using the keys I just described. I'm going to go and hit K and go down to my taskbar. I'm going to go down to the diagonal using my J and a little over to the left using U and down with K, and I'm going to click I to select. Okay. Now if I were working on a document here that I would want to make a new document from, all I have to do is press the Command button and then hit N, which will give me new. Now I'm going to turn mouse keys off for a second because I want to show you sticky keys. And what's interesting though is with sticky keys, I can now hit the Shift button and it will hold down while I then press the button that I want to capitalize, so in that letter. But sometimes when I'm using mouse keys, it gets hard to type because right now, if I were to type something, it would be difficult for me to actually type on any of those 9 keys that are used for the keyboard for the mouse. Okay. So if I type I right now, I don't get anything, or K, or O. But if I turn off my mouse keys, okay, now I can actually use those buttons. Let me turn that off for you here. Okay. The other thing I want to show you is how to hit Shift to turn this into those sticky keys. So I'm going to press Shift 5 times, and you're going to hear a notification sound come up, and you're going to see that switch plate again. So sticky keys are now on. So I'm going to press the Shift button. That gives me a notification that it has been pressed. And now I can press A. Right. But when I went to press U, because it was only Shift and not caps lock, it went back down. So I'm going to do that again for I, O, U. Simple as that. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Okay, and we now see sticky keys are off. And I want to go ahead and turn the mouse keys back on. And I can go up to using those mouse keys. Let's go up and pretend that we want to print this document, okay? Okay. Now I've noticed that it's sometimes a little difficult to use the mouse keys on your keyboard until you get used to it, because they're diagonally located in relationship to each other. So you might want to place a little dot on the keyboard on those keys that you're wanting to use. So I'm going to go ahead and press I to select that. But actually I need to do this since it's Word. I need to go up to File. And now I'm going to go down to Print. And I could also hit Command P. So it takes me a second, and that's okay. Once you get used to it, it speeds up the process. And I would just go ahead and hit Print, but I'm not going to do that right now. Now I want to go down and show you in Internet Explorer some of those accessibility options. Okay, but before I do that, I do want to show you a couple more things here. So I'm going to go ahead and take mouse keys off real quick. Okay. The reason I want to do this is I want you to see, and I want to be able to hold this here, how to do dictation with Word or with any program on the computer. So you'll see Start Dictation down here. It's FN, which is in the lower left-hand corner. Okay. So if I do this, you'll see it sometimes takes a second. So the computer's thinking. So now I have the ability to dictate to my computer, period. Sometimes it's a little slow, so I might click Done. And then what I might do is redo it again. So you can see here that it's not exactly accurate, but that's okay, it's just a demonstration. The other thing I want to show you though is I can also have the computer read it to me by hitting Shift, Escape, or whatever keys I assigned in the accessibility preferences. Okay.
Sometimes it's a little slow, so I like what time.
And here I can tell that I did not exactly get what I wanted to say dictated correctly. but again, that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and turn mouse keys back on just to get some more practice with that. And remember, we do Option how many times? 5. Okay. And I'm going to put that middle finger on I, and I'm going to go down with K, and over to Internet Explorer. And to select it, I'm going to press I. And so, I wonder what that is. We don't want that right now. So let's go ahead and do New tab. And now I can type in whatever it is that I would like to type. And so I could dictate it by pressing the FN key. Weather. It didn't quite exactly work the way I wanted, but that's okay. Accessibility keyboard. And we can see here that it did not copy exactly precisely. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, because there's one last thing I wanted to show you in this incredibly drawn out video to show you just a couple of accessibility features. So if we go down here, and we're going to keep using, for more practice, those mouse keys. Okay. This site here is the first thing that pops up below the basic Wikipedia, is a site that will show us some of the Mac accessibility shortcuts. And I would recommend saving this or printing it, so that way you'd have it available whenever it is that you need it. Okay, so if you have any questions, Apple will be more than happy to assist you. And what you can then do is see all the other options available. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn mouse keys off. And I did that by pressing the Option button 5 times again. And a lot of these key functions you'll notice you can customize for whatever works for you. Okay, so I hope this was a helpful video to begin orienting you to some of the options available on your Mac. The last thing I'll show you just one more time is kind of what that zoom looks like. So I can do Command, and since I'm in a program, I can quickly just do this for one thing. And so this is as far as it will go in here. I can also then do my toggled zoom, which can be very helpful, or I can toggle out. And I can also do Command 0 to go to the actual size of the screen. All right. If you have any questions, please post it in the comments below. I hope this was helpful.